simplicity's sake of the round numbers, if you can increase the levy next year by $1 million, you next year are going to be in a position to increase all your line items by $1.5 million. If you have $500,000 sitting in a line item for undesignated contingencies that you didn't need in that line item, that is called slush fund, okay? And next year, you get to take $1 million increase in the levy and spread it out all over the legitimate line items in your budget, and that $500,000 that's already built into your budget that you didn't really need in that line item, you can reallocate to every line item in the budget. So you get to increase your spending, making it look like you're not doing that much increasing in the other budget line items, but you really are. And, you know, I was perplexed too about next year, this coming year is a contract year for the teachers. They're going to be looking for a nice big increase to give the raises, because that contract expires in 2018. It's going to be very nice and convenient that we have $535,000 built into this year's budget that we didn't really need. It's going to make it much easier to fund that budget for the school department for next year. I don't like the way this whole thing looks. And I have been perplexed by why people were advocating for what they were from the get-go, because it's such an anomaly that's not done in other districts, and we've never done it in this town before. The only thing, I'll close, and I'm just going to say, I really hope that you vote not to approve the same two motions that you approved in the past, and that you, when you do vote to reconsider, and you entertain it, and if the reconsideration question passes, then I certainly hope that you will vote against ratifying the same numbers that you did on July 17th, because otherwise the taxpayers are getting shortchanged here. And I am well aware, and I'll just say this, I was torn to shreds at the meeting that we had in the auditorium a couple of years ago with the school department deficit that never came to fruition. And I stood here that night like I am tonight and tried to make a point. And then I was attacked by a number of people, many of them in the room this evening, for being, nobody should be listening to him, don't do that. And lo and behold, there was no deficit. Just like we went into closed session and explained to the council, there isn't going to be a deficit, these numbers are not true. And sure enough, there was no deficit. So I won't be surprised at all, since some of the same people here this evening, to have to stand up and be told, have to tell you, don't listen to him, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I feel badly about that, but I'm willing to take the hits. And Tommy, I want to again thank you, because when that happened at that meeting, you were the only one who stood up and made a comment and said, listen, say what you want about the guy, but he works as hard as anybody else in this town, if not harder. And I'm not going to sit here and listen to him be disrespected the way you are. And Tommy was the only one who stood up and said anything to that effect. And I deeply appreciate that. Tommy and I often disagree on things, but I always would be appreciative of him for doing that. So I'll sit down, and all the people that are sitting waiting for to indicate what I said bit by bit can jump up and do their thing. Thank you. And I do think it was a flaw in your bylaws tonight not to allow for rebuttal. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to come before the council? Mr. Gert?
Good evening. Tony Gert, 8 Country Way. I'm not feeling well. Please bear with me. Bad. I'd like to offer a few things for those of you on the council to consider after digesting what's been discussed so far. First off, I have a question. Can I ask questions of you or finance director? Is that permissible?
You can ask us.
Okay. All right, so $100,000. While significant, I recognize that. I think we have to take into consideration that it's overall, we're talking about approximately 0.23% of the overall budget. So, in the grand scheme of things, it's not as significant as others are making out to be. So I'm wondering if we have determined yet exactly what, if people did call for a rebate, what that rebate amount would be to individual taxpayers. Do we know that?
The average single-family home in Smithfield would be $262,000, and the rebate would be about $14.62.
Okay. And did you determine a cost to return that money to taxpayers? Has that been determined, an overall cost?
It's about $4,500.
$4,500? Okay. So, does that include postage and man hours, time to put that all together, as well as time researching property changes and the whereabouts of previous owners, if that's the case, the time involved in that?
It does not include the time involved.
Okay.
It's just postage.
Well, I don't want to see us spend a nickel on that. I've come out and said that if $100,000 could be deferred in some manner, or as the town administrator has determined would help our fund balance, then that makes sense to me. I hope we're not even going to consider diminishing the value of that $100,000 in any way, shape, or form by returning any money to taxpayers, if that's what people are calling for. I hope you agree that we don't want to diminish that, whatever that amount is. I also have to question how anyone who threatens immediately filing a court action and costly litigation, potentially costing Smithfield taxpayers thousands of dollars in legal fees, is really looking out for the best interests of taxpayers in Smithfield. I have to question that. I hope you do as well. So another question. I'm not an expert on municipal finance, but I am familiar with making some effort requirements in relation to school department budgets. Do we know if there's that same requirement in relation to municipal budgets? Is there a maintenance of effort requirement with municipal budgets? There's not. Okay. Then I don't understand how, if everything is basically zero-based, and we have the ability to start from scratch every year on every line item outside of school department, which we have maintenance of effort requirements, how this can have lasting effects on our tax levy. That doesn't make any sense to me in relation to no requirement for maintenance of effort. So I think that argument is wrong, personally. I did research as well. And our overall contingency line items for the last 5 years are as follows. 2014, $541,000. 2015, $340,000. 2016, $394,000. 2017, $536,000. And 2018, $535,000. So even including that $100,000 that was earmarked for the school department and now what has been determined was required, even including that $100,000, the overall contingency budget is less than it was last year. And it's also $6,000 less than it was in 2014 when Michael Clifford was chairman of the Budget Committee. Thank you.
there anyone else who'd like to come before the council?
Ask a question on the tax assessor? I didn't know we could ask questions.
I gave you a lot of time. If you were up here for about 20 minutes, all right? If you didn't, we're all here for you, Mike, all right? We're all here for you. If you didn't say what you had to say when you had the chance to say it, that's on you, not on me.
Well, this is what I just had happen, which I said.
Well,
I
you
had
should have been, you had a long time to
with your
anticipate these
rules,
questions.
because somebody can stand up, make a totally inaccurate statement, and reflect on my performance of the budget committee, and then I don't even have an opportunity to address
Should have
it.
anticipated these questions.
Talking about an inaccurate statement, you made an inaccurate statement about me as treasurer.
That sounds.
So let's, all right, you know what, we're not gonna get into the back and forth, which is exactly why I didn't want to have people up there going back and forth, okay? This is exactly the reason, okay? Is there anyone else who'd like to come before the council that hasn't spoken yet? Mr. Zelinski had a suggestion.
Mike, I would like to hear your question to the tax assessor. However,
Can you talk into the mic, please?
you can't hear me?
No.
Mr. Clifford?
Well,
Mr. Clifford, I really would like to hear your question to the tax assessor.
No, he's not here.
Not now.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. I just had a little sidebar with the president, and I think the way for you to get that question out, if you want to put it in writing to the tax assessor, and I'm going to make it part of a public record after this meeting.
well, it'll be a moot question after this meeting, because it was
Oh.
impacting. Okay.
Yeah, the rules were established. I'm trying to get your question answered, because you know what, I'm very interested in your question. So, do we need to vote on this, if Mr. Clifford proposed it for a public
He's all right to ask any
response?
question you said.
Yeah, but I would like to, how can we incorporate it into the minutes of this meeting after the fact?
Well, if I can't ask the question now and get it.
I would like to hear you ask the question. I'm asking the council members, would you acknowledge Mr. Clifford to pose this question?
I'm not going to open it up for, I'm not going to get into the big back and forth. He can pose a question, he can write a letter to the tax assessor if he chooses. Okay, thank you. I set the rules in the beginning, everybody knew I'm coming in. Is there anybody else who hasn't spoken that would like to come before the council? Okay.
Okay, make a statement, or is it, no, not the time? David, yes, sir, make a statement about what's transpired. Okay, part of the reason was, this town council acted in good faith effort. We had no idea how much money, if we were going to receive money. One of my concerns at the time, maintenance of effort, Mr. Gerton, are you back there? My concern at the time when we were debating this was maintenance of effort, and if we had given this money to the school department, would we be, I don't want to use the word on the hook, but would it have to be continued every year? Had the conversation with the chairperson of the school committee as well, had conversation with legal, and so I don't think the intent of this council was to raise money in a way, but we were trying to anticipate the shortfall in state money. And we were also cognizant of the fact we did not want it to be a maintenance effort. And that's why we put it into a contingency fund. Maybe we should have put it in, if I can pose this question to Mr. Clifford. Mike, did I hear you correctly? Did you say that you would not have an objection to putting taking that $100,000 and putting it in fund balance restoration?
Now? No, I don't want.
You didn't say that?
No, I didn't say that. I
Okay,
said
so
at
maybe
the
no-
time.
What?
No, when you were original budget deliberations, I wouldn't have objected to it.
Okay.
A small
I
amount of money.
misunderstood what you said.
Not
See.
this, no.
Okay, thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing at this time. Motion?
So,
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bottomoli?
Yes.
Mrs. O'Hara?
Yes.
Mr. Zelinski?
yes.
Mr. Biragad.
Yes.
So,
motion as far as discussion for the remainder of this issue, specifically A and B and C. Would we make a motion first and then have the discussion on a second?
Right. Separately, those two items go up or down exactly as worded. And then item C, D on your agenda is one that you put on there to provide all options to the council that you can amend anyway. But with regard to item B and C, you vote exactly those words up or down. So you state the words that there's a motion to go forward, it passes or fails. Don't change the wording of those two. Those two are exactly as worded back in July 17th. So that's the key.
So B and C, Mr. Solicitor, are to address what was considered to be a technical notice of violation.
Yeah.
That's all that is doing.
That's all it is.
Okay.
It's not deciding, it should remain correct in the failure to include the word amendment back in July 17th. I would suggest that you recite the motion as stated exactly on the agenda and then make a motion, down each one.
Just discussing at what point then would the council or the administrator or have an opportunity to speak?
Once there's a motion and a second,
Okay.
after that, the discussion by the council, then anyone else who wants to speak.
Mr. President, I'll make the motion, someone will second if the discussion, and then we can discuss it.
Okay. For B.
Anyone will recite it.
I will word for word, I'm just going to read it as it is. Seasonal. Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion for discussion by council, vote or other action on reconsidering, revoke, and ratification of amendment made on July 17, 2017 to the 2017-2018 budget, municipal, sewer, and water, to add a contingency line item to the town council budget for an appropriation of $100,000 as a potential replacement for state aid to education, in parentheses, with remedy to correct technical notice violation of Open Meeting Act pursuant to Open OM 17-35. Close the statement. That's a motion.
That's a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Any discussion?
I'm just trying to understand where are we going on this? I'm not understanding what we're voting on exactly.
You're voting on the exact same vote you voted on July 17th.
Exactly. Whether you say yes or no, does it make a difference?
It makes a difference to the motion, but it doesn't make a difference to you. You can vote yes or no. The motion.
This vote, the next two votes, don't think of yourself as being now here and present in 2018. Put yourself back in July 17th with the circumstances that we faced on July 17th. That's the vote, not with the benefit of hindsight. We have all this information, all can out.
Is that how I'm supposed to vote?
You can vote, you can use that, you can look through it to that prism, but you can do, you are free to vote either way. I just want to make clear of that. It's just that you have to vote the language as written, because the word amendment is now there. It wasn't there last time.
So that's where I'm confused.
Right.
That's where I'm confused.
Well, I'm not going to tell you you have to vote yes, Councilman. You can vote yes or no. If you vote yes, then the motion passes as if it was July 17th. It's ratified in July 17th motion.
Which says,
That the contingency line item of $100,000 was appropriate. Establishing the line item.
Can I put this in perspective a minute? Let me put this in perspective to everybody here. Okay? This is not all about all that stuff that was being talked about at the podium, okay? This is a technicality, all right? We failed to put the word amendment on the agenda. The AG came back and stated we did